Welcome everyone to my podcast. So I've been doing a podcast before, a couple of podcasts a while ago, and I had the idea to do it again and revisit it, but haven't gotten to it. And then I said, you know what? Forget it. Let's do it. So I'm going to be doing a podcast. Depending on how you guys like it, I'll do more frequent podcasts. There's going to be special podcasts with special people. There's going to be podcasts, maybe just you guys. What do you guys think? Do you guys want to be on my podcast show? Maybe a specific topic that you guys know or something like that. It's going to be more league related, obviously. As far as today goes, though, we're going to be talking about just me in a sense of like get behind the scenes of Coach Blaker. I have my Discord open for you guys to ask those podcast questions. And I got a couple from you guys. If you guys would ever like to ask any questions about the theme. All right, not about the theme, I'm sorry. When it's unscripted, I'm just mumbling and mumbling. Each time there's a podcast, there's going to be a theme. And so if you guys would like to ask questions based off that theme, feel free to go to my Discord and go ahead and do that one at Patreon. A podcast ask question room open up. So let's just say, okay, the state of jungle. Maybe I talk about that for a podcast. I mean, not really, but I'm just saying. Then anybody that wants to ask anything about the jungle, put your questions there. There also might be some live podcasts too. So if you guys are interested in live podcasts where you guys can type questions and stuff like that and I answer it live, I probably would do that with special guests though. So like high elo players, or maybe if I can even get some riders, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I feel like it's going to be a good ride. First, we're going to be talking about, though, as I said, me. So I got a couple of questions lined up here. We're going to get more into me first, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to hop on into the questions that are not about me and more about leagues specifically. So question number one here is, where were you born? So I was actually born in Sacramento, California. I think I was born in the evening, like in the PM. I think it was 5 p.m., something like that. I could be wrong. Maybe it was in the morning. I don't remember that much. You're like, go get your birth certificate. Look, I ain't got time for that. So I was born in Sacramento, California. It's a really nice place. I really don't know how it is now. I don't live there anymore, but I had a really good childhood growing up, I guess you could say. Until I guess about 12. When I was 12, my mother passed away, and I'm sorry. When I was 12, my dad left, and then when I was 14, my mother passed away, and then I continued to live with my sister, and she basically raised me until I got to college, and then once I left college, I got a job, and once I got a job, I decided to move out. I moved out, and kind of here we are now. So I actually ended up moving out, I think, at 19. I had a car at 18. It was a Dodge Stratus, my first car actually. It was a Butte. I'm sorry, but it was very low miles. It was like only one owner. It was pretty good. But that's pretty much kind of the story about where I was born and how I grew up there. Went to high school like everybody else. I actually had to swap schools because I moved from the area that I originally was in when I lived with my mother. So I did have to swap schools. It was kind of a stress thing though, because when you go to a new place by yourself, you don't know anybody, right? So I'm going to a new school where I don't know anyone, and I just pretty much was staying quiet in class. Eventually I started making friends. I don't think I'm that hard to talk to in the first place. So I did make some friends and whatnot, but I didn't really like that. I wish I would have stayed there. I wonder what I would be like now if I would have stayed at that original middle school. And then once I transferred middle schools, and then I obviously went to the next high school that's there, and that's pretty much it. My high school, look, Coach Blaker might have gone to college, but he might not have had good grades before he got to college. I'm just saying, stuff happened. What do you want me to say? Look, I didn't get A's all the time. I mean, you look at me and you're probably like, this guy is smart. I mean, he's snazzy. He looks what's the word I'm looking for? Educated. I am educated. But the thing is, I paid attention in class, but I really didn't turn in homework. And that was pretty much my issue, that I would just never turn in my homework. But I would pay attention and I would do my stuff. But obviously, homework is a part of your grade. Well, what's funny is I don't know if you guys have it, but my teachers would be like, hey, homework is like a percent of your grade, and then tests are like more than half of your grade. So I'm thinking, why are we doing homework? If we fail the test, we gonna get an F anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying school system is flawed. But for the most part, I just didn't turn in my work. Eventually, though, once I got to around junior year, that's when I started kicking in, and that's when I started to actually get my grades on point. One thing I did struggle with was being on time. Now, I would literally have to go to school, I believe at 9 or 10 a.m. I had no first period, so I was able to come to school late. So I was late being late. How you late to late? I was literally... The school started, I think, at 7 or 8? 7:30. 8. No, it started at 8. And I got to school at like 9:50 sometimes, 9:30. And it got to the point where I was late so much, my teacher was like, I mean, let's just wait for Avery. You know, let's just wait for him to get here. Because we know he's going to be here. And they will legit just be waiting. He never like got me in trouble. I never got... Actually, I might have gotten sent to detention once for that, but I think eventually he was like, it's whatever. Just, that ain't gonna change nothing, in which it didn't. But yeah, that I got good grades though. And then eventually I just went to college. I didn't have a way to get to college other than just like riding the bus and then getting onto the light rail and then getting off the light rail to go to college, and then I would get on the light rail, get on the bus, and then come home. That was pretty much my go because I didn't have a car. And then once I started working, it was just pretty much walking. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys done the same thing. You guys had you guys have had public transportation. You guys have had to walk places. Like, that's nothing new. I'm not saying I'm special or anything, but I'm just letting you know how my life was. I actually went to college to be a homicide detective, if you guys didn't know. That's what I went to school for. So, yeah, Coach Blaker was actually supposed to be a cop. He was supposed to be a homicide detective. But that didn't pan out. Not in a bad way. I just didn't do it. It wasn't like, oh, you weren't accepted. No, I just didn't do it. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much how my career, so to speak, went. I had a couple of jobs. I was one to always like work different places. So I've worked as a stalker, obviously. I think that was just like an entry level. I worked as a solar panel installer. I worked as a roofer. I worked as I can't remember the name of it. Oh, I can't remember the name of it. I forgot the name of it. There's a word for it, but I can't think of the name. But pretty much you would handle... Is it? I don't know. You'd handle contracts. It's not a contractor, but I just don't remember what it's called. I've also worked in an assembly line. I've done a lot, actually, but I did that to get a whole bunch of experience. I've actually worked at community centers, helping other people get jobs, helping, younger people get good grades and stuff like that. So I've always been someone to just dedicate a lot of my time to helping people, and I think that's mostly why I wanted to become a cop into a homicide detective, because I wanted to be the one to be like, hey, this is what happened, and try to help people through it. It's probably why I became a coach too, just because of that. That's part of the reason. Like, I like to help people. I mean, those of you who have had me, you know that I like to help people. So CoachBlaker.com, by the way, if you guys want to book a session. I do VOD reviews. I do VOD reviews where we sit down together, and then I also do coaching. 4 games, Valorant, League of Legends, Rogue Company, and Knockout City. I'm just saying, plugging myself. Anyway, yeah, so that's pretty much what happened. That's pretty much where I'm at in terms of my jobs and my education and whatnot. Fun fact, I was not late to college, though. So I don't know what to say there. Next question here is, how tall are you? So I'm 5'10". I feel like that's a troll question, but I'll tell you anyway. It's borderline 5'11", but we'll just round down and say 5'10". Not too tall, not too short. It's just, I think, average, right? Pretty short, simple question. Number I say number 3, but it's not really in order. How long have you been playing League of Legends? So I've been playing League of Legends for about... I started before season 3, but I really started playing it like pre-season of season 4. So how many years is that? What is it? What season are we in? 11? Season 11? That's a long time. So yeah, pretty much I've been playing for about maybe 2 years. I can't remember. Before I started coaching. And that's pretty much my experience with the game. I've been playing this game for a really, 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 really long time. The first time that I tried it, I didn't like it. The reason being is I never came from a MOBA. Like I didn't know what a MOBA was. So, I don't remember the champion that I chose, but I think I chose Heimerdinger. So I chose Heimerdinger. He was on a free champion rotation. I don't know if you guys remember the old League of Legends client where when you choose a champion, it's like you click the champ and then you get like these cards for the skin and you flick the skin. It's like a card system. I don't know. Yeah, and then you remember like during the ranked, you have to like type your role as fast as possible because there is no role like selection. Also, there'd be like pick prio, so like the higher the person, they get to choose what role they want, and so on and so on and so on. Man, those were the days. I make it seem like that's forever ago, but yeah, for a while. Anyway, for the most part, I played that Heimerdinger and I got into the game. And what happened was very weird. I started to level him. I got him like level 8 or something, and the game was over. And I'm like, cool. I got level 8 Heimerdinger. I'm about to crap on people next game. We get into the next game. I'm level 1 again. And I was like, I thought I got it to level 8. And I realized like every time you play a game, you reset your level. And I just didn't understand it, and I just didn't like it. And so I quit. And the first time I got into League was a friend that told me about it. I came from a game called Grand Chase. I don't know if you guys ever played it. If you guys know Calcep, he played it, and he was actually really, really good at it. But I came from that game, and I just wasn't used to the fact that your levels are lost. So later on, I grew up a little bit, and another friend was like, hey, come play League with me. And I was like, I don't really want to play League. And then he was like, come on. So I tried it again, and I was like, oh, I actually like this game. And then ever since then, I was hooked on it. So that's pretty much what happened there. The next one here is what made you get into coaching? So coaching, as I said before, I wanted to be a homicide detective. My main goal was really just to help people. It was to really like make everyone's lives easier. No matter what I do, I want to help people. If I see someone upset, I'll do my best to make them laugh. I do my best to make them happy. I do my best to try to make everybody, like, I don't like when there's like a frown in the room. So becoming a coach wasn't my ideal thing. That's not what I wanted to do. I originally wanted to create gameplays. I actually looked for, if you guys know Dashy Games. No, his name's not Dashy XP, and his channel is Dashy Games. That would be someone to watch. And I know if you guys ever see my older videos of actual gameplays, you would kind of know that it's kind of like him. I was kind of copy and pasting myself as him. And I just thought it was cool that he was doing that. So I was like, I seek inspiration from you. And so I originally just started making gameplays. And then eventually I was starting to watch Sky Williams. And if you guys don't know who Sky Williams is, I mean, I don't know if he makes any videos anymore. I've seen him stream very rarely, but I don't know what he's doing with his life right now. But I thought it was pretty funny, and he made me want to make my first video, which was 7 types of Gnosis players or something like that. It was, I don't know. And I was pretty much just describing all the types of Gnosis players, and it was pretty funny. I thought it was pretty funny. You could tell that I was new to it. I didn't have good camera setup. I didn't have good mic quality or anything. It literally just was a laptop cam with a little headset mic that you would see from like an IT tech or something like that. It was very under budget. And I'm not saying you need to have not saying you need to have a lot of money to actually like make videos and whatnot. You don't. You could do it on your phone if you want to. But I'm just saying when I first started, it was very like low quality, and people actually enjoyed it. So I was thinking, I was like, well, if people actually enjoy that, maybe I can make more League content. So I started to make more League content, and League of Legends content wasn't really a big thing back then. There was only a few big names like Jeremy Curios and like I said, Sky. There really were just like two types of channels. One channel was teaching you. Another type of channel was just letting you have fun, like Donkey. Donkey would make videos like that and stuff like that. So there was no clickbait. There was nothing like that. And that's what I really enjoyed about the old content. And it wasn't there to like get you to watch it. It wasn't there for like algorithm. It wasn't there to clickbait you. It was literally there because they enjoyed making that content. And that's what I wanted to do. And that's why I started to create content. Now, after I started creating content, I realized like I got good, and I was like, there was a friend that was asking for help. And I was like, sure, I'll coach you. No clue. I was just going to help him. And I was like, how about we make a video? And so I did this whole thing about like free spectatings or whatnot. And so when I started coaching, I was just doing free like VODs for people. And I don't think there was a such thing as VODs back then. I literally had to just spectate their game. But they would play a game and I spectate. So I'd sit there for literally 40 minutes and I would just spectate their game and I would watch them. And there was this dude, I will never forget him. His name is Chocolate Kool-Aid. It's not spelled like chocolate. It's spelled like chalk, like on the board, lit Kool-Aid. So this dude, for some reason or another, would play AP Nautilus. And now that's strange already. But hey, whatever floats your boat. But he will only play AP Nautilus mid. I had to VOD review that multiple times, but he was a friend of mine. I actually knew him when I was in bronze, and then I started climbing, and then as the story was, he was there, I wasn't, and so I was trying to help him get out, and it was just like I was like, do you really have to play AP Nautilus mid? He's like, dude, I have to. I love it. I have to. And I was like, all right, bro. I was like, you probably would climb if you didn't do that. So it's funny because I remember I did a video looking at that video, and I was thinking like, do I agree with everything that I said? And ironically, I did. It wasn't even like anything's changed. I just agreed with what I've taught people before. So after I did those, I did about I did more off camera, but I just put some on there. And I did a lot. I had a lot of coaching experience before I actually made my price. So then once I started coaching people and people were starting to like it and stuff like that, I then tried to apply for sites that did coaching. And I found League.gg. So League.gg had a very interesting coach system. And I didn't like it, but I did do their VODs. So I would just always do their VODs for them. But I would never like actually coach to that site. But I found Gamer Sensei, and Gamer Sensei is what I coached for, and I would be $5, right? But I also had a discount for $5. So I was pretty much like saying, hey, you guys can still get free coaching if you guys just use my discount code. So then eventually I made myself $10, right? And then eventually I made myself 20? No. I was $10. And then one day I coached a Rioter. Rioter came to me. Rioter was like, hey, dude. I don't know why I'm like skipping. I don't know why I'm like stuttering. He came to me. I coached him. And he was like, hey, dude. I was like, what's up? He was like, you should charge more. And I was like, really? He was like, yeah. He was like, how much free time do you really have? And I was like, not that much. He was like, yeah, if you think about it, you're coaching people and you're going over the time. So you're basically doing overtime for less than you would actually make as minimum wage. That means you're getting paid way less because that was $10 an hour, right? But I usually coach people for like an hour 30, 2 hours-ish sometimes. And so do the math there, 10 hours or $10 an hour wasn't that great, especially if you use the discount code in which, no, it wasn't that great because then they would take cuts out of my pay. So I wouldn't get $10 flat. I would get like $7. And so it was $7 an hour. And it was, and I know there are some jobs that pay you $7 an hour. I'm not saying it's like that bad, but as a coach, an entrepreneur, like you don't get the solid like 9 to 5 job. You know what I mean? So I'm sprinkling not only my time, but I'm also getting sprinkled sessions everywhere. And I did a lot for people. And I wanted, half of me wanted to really help them. And the other half of me wanted to do the job, right? So I did the job, and then like the other half of me like, hey, if you need anything, let me know. And then I would help them. I would do stuff on the side. And he was like, you should charge more. And I was like, I'm afraid to charge more, or I'm gonna not make anything, and I don't want to like screw myself over. At the time, I wasn't a full-time coach. I was actually having another job. And he was like, here, I'll be your guinea pig. And I never forget him. I'm not gonna say his name. I'm not gonna put him on blast, but I never forget him. He was like, here, I'll be your guinea pig. Change your prices, and I'll book your hours for like the next month or two. And I was like, really? He was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, thank you. And so I did raise my prices, and he turns out he was right. People actually do enjoy booking from me because his thought was like, people usually want what they pay for, right? If I'm going to get coached personally, I would probably choose the highest two, or like one of the highest, something like that. And that's what he was pretty much saying too. He was like, people, if they're really serious about getting better, they're going to choose that quality coaching for a little bit more than kind of choosing that cheaper coaching and not really getting what they, essentially just getting what they paid for. So he was right. I was wrong. He was like, yeah, I used to be in your same shoes. It wasn't with coaching, but it was with something else. And I just think that I don't want you to go down what I went. It was a long hours. It was barely any time for me. And it was blah, 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 blah. And I was like, thank you. So that's what happened. And ever since then, I worked with Sensei. And then after that, League.gg went down. The owner of League.gg actually went to Gamer Sensei, which was pretty cool. And then I left Sensei about a couple months ago for my own site, CoachBlicker.com. If you guys would like to book a session, CoachBlicker.com. I'm just saying. And yeah, that's where I am now. So I've coached. I've put in a lot of hours to helping players become better, and I think that's why I'm such a good coach. Not to toot my own horn, but I really just have that empathy for players. I really know what it likes to be. I really know what it's like to be in their shoes. I really understand, everything people are going through. I try to make sure that if you don't understand, I make sure that I make you understand somehow. Somehow I can get through you. As an example, like I've coached some new players. And they're like, hey, I have no clue what champ to play. There's like so many. And I'm like, okay, well, what game did you play last? And they were like, I played World of Warcraft. And I was like, okay, what class did you play? And now I'm not a World of Warcraft player, so, I did my best. He was like, Druid? If you guys are World of Warcraft players, you guys kind of know who that is, I think. I think he said Druid, whatever. And he was like, it's kind of like a frontliner, but he was like, also you can like change it to do other stuff too. So for the most part, he was talking to me about it, and I was like, okay, that sounds like this. And then I helped recommend a champ, and he was like, oh, thank you. Another guy came from Overwatch. I was like, who did you play? He was like, I played a lot of I think he said I played a lot of Lucio, or a lot of Tracer, something like that. I forgot, but I recommended Jinx, and he really loves Jinx. And I after I started coaching him, he went from being a new player to gold in like 2 months. It was nasty. That dude really put in that work, and he was a console player. Came from console. He was like, I don't even know the buttons on this keyboard, man. I was like, hey, it's all good. We went into practice tool. We did some stuff together. Not practice tool, but like the custom game. We did some stuff together. I played with bots with him. You know what I mean? Like I usually do the best I can to make sure that you guys get what you deserve and what you guys need. I'll never like just do BS with you guys. If you guys need the extra mile, I'll go the extra mile. As long as you guys give me 100%, I'll give you 110%. And that one's not really plugging, but CoachWicker.com if you would like a session. I'm just saying. Anyway, so that's pretty much how I got into coaching, and that's pretty much why I'm still coaching, because I enjoy it. I enjoy helping people, and that's just all I ever wanted to do in the first place. Do you want to be an esports coach? I actually don't have any desire to be an esports coach. I've never actually had a desire to be an esports coach or a player. I did want to be a high elo player like Challenger, but the more and more I coached, the less and less I had time to actually put in that much work. But I still want to make that a goal one day. the higher the rank does not mean the better the coach. I know a lot of people think that, but that's not true. There's a lot of challenger players that don't coach well, or if they do coach well, they only really know how to coach one champ or one role. Whereas a lot of the coaches that actually coach teams, whether it be in collegiate or pro, academy, whatever you want to call it, usually they're about gold. I'm not going to lie. Usually they're about gold. But that's because you spend so much time studying the game, right? It's different. It's different to play the game and teach the game. So, and that was something that that's something that I've heard from an actual pro coach. I was talking to him and I asked him a question about like becoming a better player. And he was like, look, if you have to choose, why is this filter going haywire? You have to choose, do you want to be a coach or do you want to be a player? Because at the end of the day, you can't be both, man. And I was kind of thinking like, really? You can't be both? So now it's worse. Now at the end of the day, I decided to be a coach, of course. I still do try to climb. I still do try to play the game. But I just don't try to stress myself out because I know the league does that to you. And I pretty much eat, sleep, breathe League of Legends. So sometimes it's kind of hard for me to just queue up and be like, hey, let's play. Because it's like I make videos on it. I coach it. I do VODs on it. It's kind of draining. So that pretty much is that in terms of, do I have any desire to be anything in the pro? I don't. If they came to me and was like, hey, do you want to do this for pro? Probably not, because I like to help the little guys. I like to help, I've helped players get to like challenger. I've helped players to try to get their foot in the door for that, for pro. But I've never realistically wanted to be that coach. Like, I just want to help you there. That's what I want. I want to be the stepping stone to wherever you want to go in life with League of Legends, whether it be stream, whether it be pro, whether it just be I want to do it for me. Whatever you want to do, I'll just fully support it, and I will be behind you that step of the way. So let's get on to these Discord questions that you guys asked, and we will wrap it up here. So the first question is, can you talk about your climb, your struggles, what helped you pretty much get unstuck and improve? So -2 coins asked that. Well, my climb was, I first started playing League and I hit 30. And when I hit 30, I assumed I was really good at the game. Got in there and I was bronze 1 or something like that, and I was like, whatever, I'll get the silver, that ain't nothing. And then I got to bronze 5 and I was like, well, pretty much blaming my team, pretty much think it's everybody else's fault. This is before iron was invented. This was still when there was 5s to ranks, and it was pretty much up and down, up and down, up and down all the time. And bronze 5 to bronze 1 to bronze 2 to bronze 5 to bronze 3 to bronze 5, it was just back and forth, back and forth. And what I decided to do that kind of knocked me out of that. Actually, what knocked me out of that, there was a friend that I had that I roommated with, and he played League of Legends too, but he was gold. I think he'd reached platinum before, but he was gold, and I was bronze. And I was asking him questions, and I was like, man, how do you get out of bronze? All my teammates suck and blah, blah, blah. And basically, he reality checked me. He was like, it's not your team, man. You just kind of got to play better. I'm not that great myself, but I do know you have to pretty much do your best. You know, it's not your team's fault. You have to understand the game. And at that point, it hit, and I actually was like, maybe he's right. So I did start playing, and I did gradually start getting better. I started to learn more. It was a process. It wasn't quick. And once it clicked. I got myself to silver 5. Golden, went past silver like it was nothing, hit gold, got a little bit stagnant in gold, but after that I creeped to platinum, and then from plat to diamond it was another, stagnant thing, and then I eventually got to diamond. And how I overcame that was just having that reality check. When someone better than you is telling you that you're not that great, it really hits home. You know what I mean? Like, obviously he wasn't being mean about it, and he was there if I had any questions, but for the most part, it was like, dude, you just got to get better, And I know a lot of players don't really like that. A lot of players don't like to hear that, but it's true. You just have to get better. And that's pretty much what got me through it. My friend was just like, hey, bro, you're just not that great. That was that. Once he told me that I wasn't that great, I went out to kind of seek improvement. And once I seek that improvement, I was able to pretty much climb. Next one here. Are there bad teammates or bad plays? That seems so troll. There are. If the person's playing their main role or their main champion, it's hard. I don't think there's such thing as bad players or bad plays. The thing is, there's a bar that you have to reach for each elo, right? There's like an expectancy of how good you should play. So if you're bronze, you might, like someone that's bronze might think their team needs to be pro. But like obviously when you're out of bronze, you know that bronze has that bar where it's like, okay, you should be at least this good. You don't know how to do this. You don't know how to do that. Okay, cool. Silver, you have your bar. Gold, you have your bar. Platinum, you have your bar. And it just keeps going. Everybody has their like expectancy. And so when someone sees you go below that bar, you're considered bad. But the problem is there's a whole bunch of factors that can go into that. Maybe you didn't sleep. Maybe you're off roll. Maybe you're off champ for some reason. Why would you queue for a champ that you don't play? Maybe your internet's bad. Maybe your computer is laggy. Like maybe your wife is hounding your ear. Maybe your husband's hounding your ear. Maybe your mom is calling you all the time. Maybe your sister or brother's bothering your dad's. Like grandpa's like, hey, where you at? I mean, I don't know. But there's a lot of factors, not just in game on their computer, but also outside of that. So it's very hard to say that someone's just genuinely bad if all their cards aren't lined up in a row in the first place. Now, as far as bad plays go, I've noticed in my coaching career, there are not really bad plays. There's bad timings. That makes sense? Like, some of those plays, it's very rare I see a play and I'm like, you should never go for that. It's more of like, you should only go for that when X, Y, Z. So I don't really think there's pretty much bad plays. It just, like, there's a time and place for everything. And sometimes when it's not the right place or time, it looks bad. Next question. Should you be a meta abuser or focus on a specific champ pool? Good question. So if you don't have a specific champ you want to main and none of it's really fun, meta abuse. If you're like, I love my champ and I want to play my champ to the day I die, one trade. I mean, that's pretty simple right then and there. Either way, whatever you'll climb, it doesn't really matter which one. I've done both. I've done both on multiple roles, so it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, your skill matters more than the champ that you choose, 100%. Next one is, should my champ pool have the same archetype of champs, or should it be diverse into different archetypes so I can choose my champ based on what my team needs? So if it's requiring you to get out your comfort zone, oh, my bad. The person that said the question before was Soup of the Day. Now we're back to Minus. Minus had asked another question here. With that, you don't want to go out your comfort zone to pick a champ that you think would better fit the team. Let's say I play Fiora top and we need a tank. I don't want to go out my comfort zone of playing like skirmishers because we need a tank. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's solo queue and your performance matters more than anything. So if you're like, oh, I have another champ that I like and they fit this and I can pick it, that's cool. Like, okay, well, Riven's better here or Irelia is better here. By all means. But don't get out your comfort zone to do it, because when you do that, you're basically saying, I'm not going to be able to play at the level that I can play my main and I'm expecting to be carried. And when you're not carried, you're going to be mad. So play your man and clap cheeks. Next one is by Warwick Boy. Warwick's one of my main champions. I think over like, what, 3,000 games on that boy overall. What is the best champion to rise from Silver 1 to Diamond 4? Most OP one, and that is not too hard to use. I am currently using Vladimir to climb. The most OP look, as a coach, I don't think anything's OP, and I don't think you should play based off the champ. But I'm going to be honest with you, because this is a podcast, and we be honest out here. I'm going to do the most OP champ, I think, for each role. Okay? So, top. The most OP champ for top right now, I think without a doubt, is most likely Darius. Darius is disgusting. Set close second. Garen close third. Like, these champions are not difficult, and they impact the game like no other. Mundo's actually pretty good right now too, but he needs a little bit of practice because he's not where he should be right now. People think he's OP, but I think he needs some more help. But eventually he'll get it. That's pretty much what I think for top. Irelia is also good. Like, oh my god, Irelia! If you could be a good Irelia, you just automatically win games like that. I'm telling you right now. You have to be good though. OP champ for mid. I do think Vladimir is really, really strong if you just sit there, farm, and just scale. But I won't say Vlad. Let's see. What's an OP mid laner? I think Talon is pretty OP because he thrives on the fact that nobody pays attention and he can just easily kill people. The problem is his late game is not that great because you have to team fight. So team fighting is a little bit harder considering that the way that you kill people is, you hopping over walls and stuff like that. If they know where you are, it's very hard to do that if they're clumped. But I think Talon, Zed for sure. If you can play Zed, oh my god, that boy, man. AP wise, probably Silas. Silas is really good, but you have to be really good at Silas. Like, you have to be amazing at Silas. But he is very strong if you are very good. But you did say easy to play, so I'm not going to say Silas. Easy to play, Mouse. Mouse is dumb. The problem is when you get a sash, it's an issue. But oh yeah, Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser top or mid is very strong. My bad. That's another one. I don't have the champs right in front of me, so it's very hard for me to think of the champs. Diana's really good too. That's for jungle mid and top. Like, she's broken. Literally button mash your face on the keyboard and you explode everybody. It's the dumbest thing, and I hope she gets nerfed. She probably did get nerfed. I didn't read patch notes yet. As far as ADC goes, play Ezreal. Ezreal's strong right now. The problem is you need to have skill shots, so maybe not. I lied. Kai'Sa's still broken. I don't care what anybody says. Her kit's disgusting. Vayne, still pretty nasty. Twitch, pretty nasty. As far as support goes, Alistair, oh my god. He's so easy and he's such a pain. Leona, Nautilus, Lux, Karma, oh my goodness gracious. If you could play some Karma. As far as jungle goes, Kha'Zix, hands down. I would say Xin Zhao, he's easy, but the problem is he falls off really, really hard if you don't play properly. Kha'Zix, no matter what, if you're behind, you still do damage because you have isolation damage, and you just one-shot people anyway. It's dumb. Shaco's another one. Evelyn's broken because she's invisible. Wukong on top is pretty strong too, by the way. So I hope that helped. Maybe. I hope. If not, let me know, and I'll try to give you some more suggestions. Next one is, we're almost out of here. Are there any attributes that one should look for when choosing champions to add to their pool? This is by Garrus. And if so, what about attributes? Wait, what? And if so, what about attributes they should stay away from? Oh, okay, I see what he's trying to say. So what attributes should you choose for a champ? What should you look for to choose a champion for your pool? And what should you not look for your pool? So it just comes down to your playstyle. It depends on what you like, right? If you're forced to do something you don't like, you're not going to have fun. If you don't have fun, you're not going to get better. If you don't get better, you're not going to climb. If you don't climb, you're going to be mad. So you always want to stick to what you know, to what you have fun with, right? Let's say, because I know you play Seraphine. No, you don't play Seraphine, actually. That's another person. I forgot who you play. You play ADC though. I forgot. Okay. Let's just say when ADC is a little different because almost all of them are the same. But let's just say I play Draven, right? I probably don't want to play Aphelios. There's nothing about Aphelios that should attract a Draven player. You know what I mean? So that's what you should be thinking about. What is your style? It shouldn't really come down to the stats. It shouldn't come down to the win rate. It shouldn't come down to any of that, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. And when you're better than someone, you just win games anyway. So that's what I think you should be looking for, what you enjoy. What you should not be looking for is, like I said, the win rates, what somebody tells you is broken, anything like that, because you're going to be disappointed. I've been there. I've done that on all the roles. Play what you enjoy, and you'll climb 100%. So that pretty much wraps it up for the podcast. This is a lot longer than I thought. I wanted it to be at least 20 minutes, and we ended up being 40 minutes. So, wow. As I said, though, I'm going to be having guests sometimes. Sometimes we're going to be live. Sometimes, I just want to, we're going to do it all. But for the most part, if you guys enjoyed it, make sure you thumbs up, because that lets me know, hey, I want to see more, or I want to hear more. I'm sorry. Like I said, you could just listen. You don't have to look at me. And if you guys didn't like it, thumbs down. I know not to make this content. So thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. Thank you guys for listening. I do appreciate it. And I don't really know how to end these videos. Thank you for approaching this like a coach. Maybe. Thank you for thank you for listening to the Coach Blake podcast. Coach Blake, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'll just say it. Thank you for what? Approaching this like a coach.